Today, we're going to do a deep dive into real Amazon KDP book listings to see why they are not doing well and what we can do to turn things around for them. So most people that don't succeed with Amazon KDP think their book is not good, but in most cases, it's actually just an accumulation of small mistakes in their book listings that all add up to one big reason the Amazon search algorithm doesn't like them or doesn't understand the book. So I do these videos on a daily basis for our authors in our community. So if you want free daily training, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And then let's get right into today's video. And just quickly, in case you're new to our channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different Amazon KDP accounts. And we have a free Facebook group for authors with 230,000 members in it. And then with our self-publishing Titans tools, we have helped over 300,000 authors publish their books with Amazon KDP. So this is a quick thing about us, and let's get right into this first review here. As we can see here with our self-publishing Titans Chrome extension, this book has never gotten a single sale, which is very unfortunate. So let's see what is happening here. So the title here is The Hidden Heart of Mexico, A Traveler's Guide to Unforgettable Experiences. So the first thing I notice here is that the period is unnecessary and kind of odd. The title sounds fine though, but then the main thing we're missing here is just an exact match keywords. So one potential keyword here could be Mexico travel guide. So now we're using the self-publishing Titans Chrome extension. So here we can see Mexico travel guide has an opportunity of 8, demand of 7, a good search volume, and then also travel guides 2025, even better. So for an ebook, you can always update the year, but the year 2025 could be on the cover and in your description. So having that in your subtitle would have helped you with your organic rankings for sure. And we always want to try and get as many good keywords in your title and subtitle as possible without making it look keyword stuffed or spammy, but just useful for both a potential buyer and the Amazon algorithm. Really important. So let's look at your cover here. So we can see here that is a picture of hopefully actually Mexico, which looks nice. But then what I don't like here is that for some reason we have a huge blue line going straight across the beach. So I feel like that's kind of like a big mistake because the beach in Mexico is usually quite nice. So I would like to see that more open up. And then on the top here, we also have a line, but it's skinnier, so it doesn't really match. And then for the text here, the text looks fine, but what I don't like here and think could be improved is that here we have a shadow for the text for Mexico as well, but then the beginning here doesn't have that. So for some reason, we're making the shadow stronger as it progresses. So I would think that would look better if you made that more uniform. And then the Sarah Jobs, I don't think is really necessary on this for a travel guide. And then if at all, I would put it at the very bottom and not like center in all caps. I kind of feel like that also takes away from the Mexico experience. So that's something I would change. And then here, looking at your back cover, since this is a travel guide, I would have probably put images of the best spots that someone can go to in Mexico and that they can learn about. And then that can just further close them on why they should buy your book. So that's definitely a big missed opportunity here. And then just one comment on your author name here. I would recommend not making that all caps. So it just doesn't look as nice and professional. I would just have that in normal writing, not all caps. I think that will look nicer. And then here, I'm not sure why you have the title in all quotes here. So I would probably put this into some AI to help you rewrite this. And then once you have a nice description, then rewrite it yourself again so it sounds and looks human. And part of that description, we also want to have 5 bullet points that describe what your book is about. And then these bullet points should be near the top, which would only help a potential buyer see exactly what this book is about. So here we don't see any categories and there's no A+ content. So that's another big miss, especially for a travel guide. You want to show exciting pictures, you want to show lifestyle images and kind of get the person already imagining that they're there and what they might get out of your book. And then we have no reviews either. So reviews are really important, especially as Amazon gets more and more competitive. And if you're not sure how to get your first readers, we have a brand new advanced reader copy service. If you want to check that out, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com and click on the ARC reviews right here to see if that's suitable for you. But yeah, otherwise that would be my feedback for you. So make some adjustments on the cover, improve your title with your main keywords in it, add your description with 5 bullet points, and definitely have your A+ content. So I hope that helps, and let's check the next one here. So once again, we have a book that has never gotten a single sale. So let's see what we can figure out for this book. So looking at the title, it says, "The more you learn, the more you earn. A motivational aligned journal for ideas, goals, study notes, and daily progress." So this title didn't make me feel like it was a journal until we saw the journal here. So I feel like this is almost more suitable for high content or something like that, and not for a journal. And then same with the title. I mean, the title could be fine, but this is not really the most popular style for a title and subtitle when it comes to notebooks and journals and other low content books. So let's just use our Titans Chrome extension. And in case you're not familiar with this, you can go to the Google Chrome store and type in Self-Publishing Titans and install the bottom extension here. And these were our previous Chrome extensions, but this one is the all-in-one Chrome extension. So you can install that one and uninstall these two. This is the one that we're updating moving forward. But here we can see Motivational Journal has good domains, but the opportunity is quite low. But then Motivational Journal 2024, obviously not right here anymore, but for men, but we can just get the concept and see here that this has an opportunity of 8. So it's important to always niche down. Motivational Journal 2025. So this is also something that you can create 1-year journal every single year. And the nice thing about these kinds of journals, if it's related to a year, is that it starts over every year. And there's obviously less competition with every year. So it's just one thought on that. Motivational Journal 8x10 men, opportunity of 9, demand of 5. So these are just some ideas of better keywords that could have been in your title. So that's just one suggestion. And then here, the cover, I guess the font looks creative, but it also does make me feel like it's a journal necessarily. Let's quickly open our Self-Publishing Titans. And in here, we can see there's no subcategory. That's because there's never been a single sale. And here we can also see that the score is really, really low. Probably the lowest I've seen so far since doing this series. So just another confirmation that this listing would not be getting sales. But let's look at our AI analysis about your cover. And our AI is saying here under improvements, the cover lacks an author's name or additional context, which may reduce credibility or recognition for potential buyers. Also, the heavy typography only design misses an opportunity to visually hint at the book's subject, such as financial growth or education. So this is an interesting tip, and I actually kind of like it to make this themed more about finances, just so it's even more clear what this book is about. And then here under opportunity, it says incorporating a subtle but relevant graphic elements like an upward arrow or book icon could enhance visual interest and reinforce the theme of learning and earning. Adding the author's name prominently would improve marketing potential and trustworthiness in the Amazon marketplace. So obviously AI had also a hard time understanding what your book is about because it thinks it's a book, but it's actually just a journal. And for journals, the author name is not as important. So that just shows you once again that if our AI can misunderstand your book, that the Amazon search algorithm would definitely also potentially misunderstand it. Looking at the description here, we have 4 bullet points. So I always like having 5 bullet points and then having those right at the top, so a potential buyer can see it right away. I think it would look more clean if we had a space between the last bullet point and the last line of text here. And then one thing we can also add here at the bottom of your description is just a simple call to action. Moving along here, we can see there's no A+ content. So the A+ content is always a great opportunity to show what low content books are all about. So there you could have shown the type of pages that are in there for earning money or for planning and things like that. So a buyer can see what kind of journal this is, because there's obviously no look inside feature here. So a buyer has no idea what your content is like. So that's probably one of the main reasons as well that we're not getting any sales, because the person can't open the book and they can't see the pages. There's much more less likely to actually buy this book. And then just quickly a side note here, we have a price of $13.67, but $13 is also just a bit random, especially if this is a low content book and only 120 pages. So I would also consider having a lower price for such a simple book. Here we have an image, Intelliness Canada. The image is fine, but maybe we can have something that's a little bit more brand related to a money-making journal. just a slight thought, but also fine. But good job for having a description here. So overall, what we need to improve is slight improvements on the cover. We need to have a long tail keyword and a general improvement on a title. I would reduce the price because this is a low content book, so it's lower perceived value in most cases. And then definitely have A+ content showing your book interior pages. So if you make those changes for this book and your future books, I think you'll have much better results. And let's check the next one here. So once again, we have no sales ever. So this is a series of complete fails, which is also good because then we can learn from that. So looking at the cover here, it grabbed my attention right away, which is a good thing. But in this case, this is a bad thing because the cover doesn't really look that professional and kind of all over the place and totally different designs and fonts and colors and just so much going on there. So I would definitely change that for sure. And in this case, I would probably just hire somebody on Fiverr. You can probably find somebody for $5, $10, $15 to make a really great cover for you. And the cover is obviously one of the most important parts because when someone is browsing on Amazon and in many cases on their mobile apps, what they're going to see before going to your listing is just your cover and your title. And in between those two things, they have to decide if they might be interested in your book. So if they don't like the cover or they don't like the title, then they will never click on your listing. And if you never get any clicks, you won't get buys. And then obviously Amazon will never rank your book high in the organic search results. So having an attractive cover that looks great and professional is super important. But let's look at the title here. So site word activity book. So I like that you have a main keyword in there, which is great. And then here we can see coloring, word search, tracing, writing, fun practice for first grade. So that's also fine, but here it says tracing. And if this is letter tracing, then we just have a missed opportunity here of having just the keywords of letter tracing in there. And then first grade is fine. 200 essential words for kids learning to read and write. So the one thing that's also missing here, we have first grades, but usually better keywords is age groups rather than grades. But you could have the grade in there, but I would also say that you should have for kids and then ages, whatever that would be. So that's another missed opportunity here. So looking at the description here, we have 6 bullet points, which is fine. I'm a big fan of having 5, so I would consider even removing one. And then here we have additional bullet points. So this is way too many bullet points. So with most Amazon products, it's standard practice to have 5 bullet points and then just a general description. So I would see what we can do here to come up with 5 great bullet points. And then whatever doesn't fit in that, you can just write a few more paragraphs about the remaining things, but I think that'll be a good improvement overall for your description. I do see here that you created some preview pages, which is great, so good job on that. One thing I would consider here is maybe even removing this text. It kind of seems like it's hard to read and kind of blends in a little bit too much. And then instead, I'd recommend having maybe 2 more pages or 3 more preview pages here. And honestly, the more we can show a potential buyer, the better. But good job for thinking of that in the first place. So that is one plus point here. Okay, so scrolling down, we can see you do have A+ content. So that is also good. I like the purple shape that you have here. I like that you placed your book there. One slight improvement that I think we could make is kind of make this book stand out more, either by adding some shadow, but I think the other nice thing that could be done is actually using a book mockup, which you can find in Canva. So it actually looks like a 3D kind of book, not just a plain cover. I think that would improve the overall look here, but otherwise I like this. This is even better. We're showing here interior pages. So that's really important and great job for doing that. I like that we're also showing a kid in action. Lifestyle images are always good. And then here, I guess this image looks kind of bit random almost. I would change that to an open book and actually showing activities because this image right here is not really adding any more value. And then kind of the food here also looks a little bit random to me. I'd probably change the background image to something else. And then here we're showing a blank page, which doesn't really make sense to me in just the beginning of the book. So I would also replace that. And then there's no need to show the back cover here because we already have that at the top. And then this is fine, but it's hard to see. You can't really see what this is. So I would have either a zoomed in version or some other page as well. But good job for having a nice brand image here. That looks good. And then you have a short description, but it's a little bit too short. So I would make sure that is added too. And then we have no reviews. So reviews is also really, really important. But I think the main problem here is just the front cover and slight improvements on the title. And I would also really look at your 7 backend keywords to make sure that you have as many long tail keywords in there as possible for letter tracing, writing practice, and kids learning and things like that. And just use our Titans Pro Chrome extension to find all these long tail keywords. I think that would help you. So that's it for today's video. If you want more free daily training, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, please leave a like down below, and commenting on videos is always great for us. All right, so see you tomorrow. Bye.